Hi Gemini, welcome to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. This is a general love reading for the sign of Gemini for the upcoming week of February. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Everything that you need to know about this reading and the video is in the description box below. Please check that out. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you liking my videos and subscribing. So I'm going to get started after a couple of shuffles, Gemini, of my first deck. I have pre-shuffled all of my decks. I do want to remind all of my viewers that because this is a general reading, it can pertain to relationships, situations, circumstances, just about anything that you're dealing with. So bear that in mind. Also, be flexible with the energy. You may feel like I'm reading for you, but you could potentially feel like I'm reading for somebody that you're dealing with. In other words, you're cross-watching. And my intention, as always, is to reach as many people as I can who need the message the most and who will benefit the most from the message. So we're going to get started. Let me give this deck a quick cut, Gemini, and we'll see what's going on with you guys today. Here we go. We're going to start off with the Two of Wands, paired with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Pentacles in reverse. The Eight of Cups. Judgment in reverse. Strength in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. And the Nine of Swords in reverse. All right, Gemini, so we have a Queen of Pentacles and a King of Cups, both in reverse on the table. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is your energy. I want to remind everybody watching that if this reading resonates for you, you can interchange whoever you are. You're going to know who you are in this reading. So I'm going to be reading for the Queen of Pentacles, but you could very well be the King of Cups, which is who you're dealing with, or who I feel like Gemini is dealing with. So you decide what makes sense to you. The Queen of Pentacles can be somebody who's feeling maybe a little insecure, not so comfortable, maybe feeling a little bit incapable. This person can also be a little detached or feeling a little in need of some self-care. This person can be a little self-centered or egocentric. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is in the process of making a decision or choosing a path after an event that occurred that she's trying to move on from. I feel like this could potentially be a relationship situation with this King of Cups, who I feel is very emotionally unavailable, feeling detached, feeling maybe a little cold, reluctant to show emotions. It feels like something's going on between these two, or something recently occurred between these two, an uncomfortable situation. And the Queen of Pentacles feels like she's kind of in a state of reflection, maybe trying to figure out what went wrong, or what to do after maybe it just feels like she received a blow of some sort. Feels like she's set back a little bit. I feel like the king made a decision, or the king of cups feels like he did something or said something that has this queen in a state of reflection or feeling a little bit sad or remorseful or in need of self-care, like she received a blow. That's what I'm getting more than anything from this first set of cards, Gemini. Let's get another set of cards out here and see what we can get. So we have a Queen of Swords in reverse now, clarifying the Two of Wands. Ten of Cups is clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles in reverse. The World. The King of Cups came out again, clarifying Judgment. Seven of Pentacles. The Hanged Man. And the Three of Cups in reverse. So again, I feel like the king made a decision, and I think the queen thinks it was a wrong decision or a poor choice. He came out clarifying Judgment in reverse. I feel like he has decided that the longer he invests time in this relationship, the weaker the relationship gets. I say relationship because I feel like this is a relationship situation. It does not necessarily have to be romantic, but this feels like a breakup. This feels like or some kind of conflict within the relationship. And I feel like the king's made a decision that he's not necessarily willing to put in the time or the energy anymore because he feels like it's a waste. Like he feels like it's making things worse rather than better. I think that the Queen of Pentacles, Gemini, you think that this was a poor choice on his part. I have a feeling that this relationship, at least according to you, could have been at one time. Sorry, I'm readjusting my candles. One of them just burned out. One of the candles just burned out, just for the record. Not sure if that means anything or not, but the Queen of Pentacles, maybe you at least at one time, or maybe currently feel like this is a Ten of Cups situation or relationship that you're in. I think that you may have communicated that you think that whatever this King of Cups has said or done, that he's making the wrong choice. I do feel like you're the Queen of Swords energy as well. And that you may have expressed this to this king, communicated your feelings, or reacted to him about this decision that he's made. However, I don't necessarily feel like your reaction was a very positive reaction. If you've got the Queen of Swords energy, it's possible that you haven't spoken at all to this person. Maybe you're blocking this person or refusing to communicate. But if you are communicating or have communicated with this king, I feel like you've communicated some harsh words. There is some very difficult energy between the two of you, and it doesn't feel pleasant. But I feel like one or both of you may feel like it's time to walk away from the situation and close the chapter. That maybe it is time to call it a day when it comes to the situation within this relationship or the relationship itself. I don't know that communication has been very positive or productive. Couldn't think of the word. And then I don't feel like you two are working very well together, and that there's a sense that it might be time to let this go, release this. I think the king has put a lot of thought into what's happening or what's happened in the past or what's currently occurring between the two of you. He's probably been in his head a little bit about this. He might still be. I think he's experienced some significant anxiety regarding this situation and or this relationship. And if you two have come back together to communicate or resolve things, the reunion was troubled. The communication did not go well, or is not going well if it's still happening. I do feel like it's the king who maybe initiated some kind of communication or initiated a resolution to the problem, because I think this has been going on for some time, and I think he's come to terms with it. But he might still be in a state of rest. Maybe he's reconsidering. With the hangman out here, he might be reconsidering, maybe because of something that you said, Gemini. Because with judgment in reverse on the table, that could indicate that his choice was a poor choice, that whatever decision he made was the wrong decision. That, or that's what you've communicated to him. But you might be in a state where you're making a decision of your own right now, because I think your goal is a 10 of Cups. I think that you want something that, a relationship or situation that's going to make you happy and that will be fulfilling for you, Gemini. And I don't think that that's what you have with this King of Cups currently. And you may have communicated that with this King of Cups in not so pleasant words, is what I'm getting from these cards. So let's get another set out here for you, Gemini, and see what else is up. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. And there's the 8 of Cups again. The Emperor. Three of Pentacles, this time in the upright position. Five of Wands. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Four of Pentacles again in the reverse. And the Devil in reverse. So this almost feels like it's mutual. I think that you communicated and expressed a desire to make a decision once and for all regarding this relationship, because the emotions, the feelings are either not there or they're anything but compassionate and loyal. Let's put it that way. I'm not feeling a lot of shared love between the two of these energies. And you may have expressed to this king that you're ready to move on to a real Ten of Cups, because this relationship has you feeling neglected. Has you feeling like maybe you're giving a lot into this relationship and not receiving that in return. This relationship feels very imbalanced, and it feels like it's getting weaker over time rather than stronger over time. Again, with the Four of Pentacles out here twice in reverse, I get the sense that this king has expressed that he's letting this go, that he's walking away from this. But I think that you, in return, said the same. But I think that he is rethinking this, or dwelling on it, or stuck in this energy, at least for now. If this has been recent communication between the two of you, this king is still reflecting on the conversation or the situation between the two of you, and he's still working to get out of some shadowy energy that he's experiencing because of the interaction or the current state of this relationship. It feels like it definitely feels like there's been some communication or some back and forth regarding you two. So this could have been something, this could be communication over time. Maybe you two have been working through this for a while. And it feels like this king kind of decided, this King of Cups kind of decided it was time to take a stand and make an executive decision, because it feels like there's been just a lot of back and forth with no results or not a lot of progress. A lack of movement forward. The conversation has led to interactions between the two of you just feel very empty and unproductive, resulting in just more hurt feelings, maybe almost, trying to get a leg up on one another. I'm going to get the last word in and hurt your feelings before you leave the room so that you're left feeling bad, and I can feel like I'm, in the lead when it comes to being hurtful, because it feels like the two of you have been very hurtful towards one another. This is not a very pleasant reading, Gemini, if I'm being honest. And it feels like at least the Queen of Pentacles, your energy, feels like you maybe made a decision to move on because you feel like, you want your Ten of Cups, you want a relationship or friendship or, situationship, whatever this is to you, that brings you a Ten of Cups, that's a working situation where there's good communication, positive interaction, something productive in your life, something that makes you feel good, rather than something that makes you feel crappy. Because right now it's almost like this sparring energy, like the two of you are just wanting to go back and forth. But the King's strategy is to act very, it's almost like, he's acting very neutral or nonchalant, like, doesn't bother me, I don't give a crap. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, I don't care. He's got kind of like this shrugging shoulders, he doesn't give a crap, whatever you say can't hurt me. And I feel like this is his strategy, and it's triggering you, it's pissing you off. It's hurting your feelings, and I feel like you're lashing out. That's what I've got, Gemini. Let's get this last run of cards out. We've got Temperance in reverse. Knight of Swords. Six of Wands in reverse. The World again, clarifying the world. This is the end of a chapter. This is it. I feel like, you know, one or both of you have closed the book on this. It feels mutual to me. The Hangman in reverse, clarifying this King. He's got him twice. The Fool. Page of Swords in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this King feels like he may have clammed up, maybe since the most recent interaction between the two of you, since expressing his desire to let go and move on. If there was, on your part, Gemini, a desire to communicate further, I think this King is refusing. Because he doesn't think that another interaction or more interactions with you or communication with you would be productive or would go anywhere. He's feeling insecure about coming back together, because I think he thinks that there's no room for improvement at this point in time. There is a sense in these cards that he feels like he may have made a bad decision, or that you expressed to him you think that he made a bad choice. On the other hand, there's this mutual energy of wanting to close the deal, close the book, end the cycle, and be done with this once and for all and walk away. And you both may have communicated those same desires to each other, that this is something that's ready to be released. This disappointment, failure in this relationship, it's time to let it go. I think, Gemini, at this point in time, you're feeling like, I need to walk away from this because I deserve better, and I need to take action to find my Ten of Cups once and for all, because I do feel like you at least feel like you put a lot more into this relationship than you received out of it, and that you may feel like you wasted your energy and time in this situation. But both of you, if I'm being honest, Gemini, both of you are dealing with some shadow energy, and it does not feel good. It doesn't feel good. I think this King is detaching his emotions, and it almost feels like he is just decided that he's going to ignore what's happened and just try to put it behind him without working through it. Like he just wants to put it all behind him and pretend it never happened. And it feels almost like you're feeling the opposite. Like you want to work through things, you want to talk through things, even if you don't try to mend things, which I don't feel like you're trying to repair this relationship or reconcile. I feel like you still want to come together in some way and at least talk about it. I mean, that's what Geminis do, right? You're communicators. You're thinkers. You work through problems. You don't just ignore things. So we have the 10 of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun, Eight of Swords, Six of Swords, Three of Swords in reverse, and the Queen of Cups. So, just as I was talking about you maybe wanting to work through things, talk through things, then we got the Ten of Swords in reverse. And to me, this is about trying again, starting over, but dealing with the same energy, dealing with the same shit. I feel like you feel like that there's just this need to resolve things once and for all, and communication might be the key, at least for you. But I think that when you've tried this in the past, it's been more of the same, that there hasn't been any resolution, that things haven't changed, and I do believe it's because of the method of communication on both sides. Communication has led you in the same direction every time, and ultimately you're just stuck in this stagnant energy where there's either lack of communication, miscommunication, or the two of you just aren't working well together and ultimately are failing in this relationship endeavor or this connection. Remember, this doesn't have to be a romantic connection, but that's what it feels like more than anything, because it's that kind of harsh energy where, you know, if it's a friendship or a working situation, yeah, the energy can be harsh, but this feels like there was intimacy and an emotional connection beyond what a friendship or family, even co-worker, that kind of relationship. It feels like it was closer, an intimate type closer connection, but it could be anything. Right now, this king is feeling, he may not be communicating, Gemini, but he's feeling trapped or stuck right now. And I think he is rethinking his decisions, maybe his decisions on how he's been communicating with you, because he's got this Hangman energy and this Eight of Swords energy. He's got the Three of Swords out here in his set of cards, the Nine of Swords, and I think he may not be showing it, Gemini, if this is any consolation, and I don't know if it is, but he may not be showing it, but he is stuck in some deep, deep shitty energy right now, trying to heal. And he may not be communicating or feel willing to communicate, because he knows if he does, he might slip and mess up his plans, which is to remain detached and unemotional, because he knows that's what's getting to you. And it might change the game for him. Now, the one card that has me a little bit confused, Gemini, if I'm being honest, is this Queen of Cups that came out clarifying his energy in this set of cards, because it's in the upright position. So this could potentially indicate that you still have love that you're hanging on to with regard to this connection. I think this king might know it if that's the case. And that's part of the reason why he's reluctant to talk or come back together, because he knows there's still some love there. And that might be influencing how he feels right now, because I do feel like he is in a mess of mental anxiety. Really struggling through this right now. He may not be showing it, but he is. So Gemini, I'm sorry for you having to go through this. This is really difficult, a really difficult set of cards, if I'm being honest. You know, I woke up with a headache this morning, and I had every intention last night to do some readings, and I went to bed with a little headache starting, and I woke up with one, and I knew I wasn't going to feel up to it, but I thought, you know what, I should probably do some readings and see what happens, and maybe I'm feeling a little bit of this energy that you're dealing with right now. Because it's feeling really crappy, Gemini. So I feel for you. And this King of Cups, if I'm being honest, I feel for both of you, because it's not going to be pleasant for either one of you. Let's get a card for Gemini. See if we can't get some advice from Spirit. Maybe some words of encouragement would be nice. One card to finish up this reading. One card for Gemini. I need to give this one more good shuffle. So Gemini, the other thing I want to say too is it does feel like you may have at least expressed that you are ready to move on to this king. And maybe that's why he ultimately said, okay, then I'm done and I'm letting this go. Maybe this Queen of Cups is out here because he thought that there was still some love left. And maybe you expressing that you're moving on is what has him maybe in kind of sequestering himself. Because I feel like he's detached or just reluctant to even communicate further. Because this Queen of Cups energy is really confusing to me. And it could indicate, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. We've got the Four of Pentacles out here a couple times in the reverse, indicating he's letting go or you're letting go. But we have this Ten of Swords in the reverse, which could, and this is in your energy, it could indicate, it's also clarifying the Two of Wands. This could indicate that you've expressed a desire to try again. I'm just going to throw that out there. We also have the Fool out here in the upright position. And this could indicate wanting a new start, wanting a new beginning. So, but we have the World out here twice too. It feels like an ending, but a hint at possibly a new beginning. I don't know, for some of you that might be true. Maybe there's been one or both of you expressed the desire to try again or to start over, to leave behind the energy that has had you two in this negative spiral downward. So I'm just going to throw that out there. It's possible that has been at least communicated, the desire to try again to start over. This reading is getting really long. I need one card, Spirit, just one card for Gemini so we can finish this up. Sorry, I'm rambling on, but as I look at these cards, I get, you know, there's one that popped out. So we got the Queen of Water. We got the Queen of Cups again. And the Five of Water. So the card that's confusing me came out again, Gemini. Okay, well, here we go. I'll read this to you, see if this helps you in any way, shape, or form. Maybe gives you some clarity. It didn't give me clarity, it's just confusing me more, Gemini. But if there's still love here, and there's this kind of remorse and hope for a new beginning, then there's probably a reason behind the desire for more communication. Then I get it. Okay, so I'm going to read the Queen of Water. I will read both of these cards for you, Gemini. This is going to go long, a little bit long. That's just the way it is. Okay, here we go, Gemini. The Queen of Water symbolizes a gentle, empathetic soul who possesses a keen sense of intuition. She is loving, compassionate, and always kind. She knows when something is wrong, when a friend is hurting and is in need of comfort or counsel. She is naturally in tune with her emotions and the emotions of those around her. It is this natural connection and gentleness that draws people to her. She is empathetic and would never consider being deliberately cruel or unkind. She is generous and giving of herself to a fault. Only by having and maintaining healthy boundaries does this watery queen protect herself from becoming drained. Her ability to intuitively see and know is her greatest strength. She looks beyond the surface to what lies within the subconscious, seeing the emotions of old that influence the present. She can sense the mood of a moment or the undercurrents that flow through a room full of people, and because she can read others' emotions with ease, she can often distinguish truth from falsehood. This knowledge empowers with it. The ever-romantic Queen of Water can often offer the perfect solution, particularly in matters of the heart. She believes in the power of love, but is also wise and knows that relationships need to be nurtured and maintained, that emotional honesty is key, as is a willingness to share our feelings. When we share our true feelings, we make ourselves vulnerable, but to be willing to do so shows both courage and strength. Is this queen a part of your nature? Is there someone in your life who needs or would benefit from your help and loving support? Or is it you who needs to seek out a like energy in your life for healing or guidance? When the Queen of Water appears in your card, she signifies a very affirming and positive energy, for she is the epitome of love in all that it forms, all of its forms. Take heart and know that bright days are ahead. That might be what has you so frustrated, is because this king has detached emotionally, and it's what's kept you too solid in the past, and because he's decided to remove that part from this relationship, that's what has you feeling this, the Five of Water. So let's go ahead and read this one, and then I'm going to end this reading before I get into the 40-minute mark, because this is getting way too long, Gemini. Okay. The Five of Water represents feelings of fear, doubt, and hopelessness that can cloud our minds and hearts and give rise to confusion, misunderstanding, and anger. These emotions are often born of our own pain or insecurities and can cloud our ability to see the love that surrounds us. All too often, when we experience a moment of great hurt or loss, we can feel alone, as if no one could possibly understand the depth of anguish we are feeling. Whether it be the end of a marriage or friendship, the death of a loved one, or a battle with mental illness, we can sometimes find ourselves weighed down by pain and suffering and blind to the beauty and love that surrounds us. Loss of any kind causes us to experience a range of emotions, including sadness, fear, confusion, guilt, regret, anger, and betrayal. Sometimes we can even experience a complete absence of emotions. To think of the future serves only to add to the burden of sorrow, because all hope seems gone. The Five of Water is a challenging card because it is not one that offers any real comfort. Loss is something we all experience, and if we are already vulnerable and sensitive to hurt, then it can be overwhelming. The death of a loved one, the loss of a friend, being betrayed by someone we trusted and loved. There are no words of comfort that will lessen the pain we feel. The Five of Water symbolizes the need to allow yourself to work through your grief and to take as much time as you need. Allow the emotions to flow and flow along with them, and not to the extent that they threaten to overwhelm you or have you lashing out at others. You need to remember that you have people around you who love you. Look up. While you may feel alone, you are not. There are people around you who have also experienced loss. They know, they understand. Allow them to be there for you in your time of need. Okay, I just want to say one last thing. I know this is going super long, Gemini, but if you choose to try again with this relationship, you got to work through the shadow energy first, because neither one of you are responding well to each other's shadow energy. And if this relationship is going anywhere, then some time apart is probably necessary so you two can work through this first, because you two are clashing and butting heads, and this is not in your future if this continues. If this king has kind of separated himself from you to work through this right now, that's what he needs to do, because he is working to get out of his shadow energy, and this is good news because the devil is in reverse on his side. So I think he has an understanding, at least because the Queen of Cups came out in his energy, that there may still be some love there. So if this relationship is going to be saved, both you and him especially, I think, needs to work through this so that he can turn himself in the upright position, and you two can make progress when you communicate instead of going backwards, setting things back. So I need to end this here, Gemini. I hope this reading gave you some clarity. If it did resonate, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a message if you feel like telling your story. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I see you again. Bye, Gemini.